Tony Martin wasn't just a great time trialist. He was the benchmark. For over a decade, the German powerhouse ruled the race against the clock, collecting 4 world titles and 5 Grand Tour time trial stage wins along the way. But Martin was never just a solo assassin. He was also one of the most selfless, dependable teammates in the peloton. Now, I could sit here and list every win, every rainbow jersey, every moment he left the competition gasping. But we'd be here all day. Instead, we're going to zoom in on the defining moments of his career. The ones that show you exactly who Tony Martin was, both as a rider and as a competitor. You can't talk about Tony Martin without starting with the crown jewel of his resume. 4 World Time Trial Championships, tied for the most in history. The first came in 2011, just his 3rd year as a pro. That season was Martin's breakout. Overall victory at Paris-Nice, his first Grand Tour stage win at the Tour de France, and the beginning of a brewing rivalry with the reigning king of the discipline, Fabian Cancellara. Cancellara already had the rainbow jersey, an Olympic title, and a reputation for destroying time trials. But in 2011, Martin started flipping the script, beating him at the Tour de France, then again at the Vuelta. You could blame fatigue on Cancellara's side. He was the older rider, after all, but the truth was obvious. The guard was changing. Copenhagen. 2 laps of a flat, technical, 23.2 kilometer long course. And when the dust settled, the rainbow jersey was on Martin's shoulders. 1 down, 3 to go. 2012 was a year where Martin's biggest battles happened between himself and the bike. In April, a car struck him during training, knocking him unconscious and sidelining him for months. He fought his way back for the Tour, but the bad luck kept coming. A mechanical in the opening prologue, a crash that injured his wrist, another mechanical in a stage 9 time trial, and having to settle for silver at the Olympics behind Bradley Wiggins. He needed something to save the season. The World Championships were his shot. And while American Taylor Phinney pushed him to the limit, Martin defended his title by a razor-thin 5 seconds, moving within 1 win of the record 3 in a row. 2013 wasn't without drama either. A crash on stage 1 of the Tour left him with a concussion and a bruised lung. But just 10 stages later, he stormed to a dominant victory in the stage 11. He capped that year with the 3rd straight world title, crushing Wiggins by 46 seconds, with Cancellara just behind. By 2014, Martin was gunning for victory. 4 straight rainbow jerseys, a feat no one had ever achieved. But that year belonged to Bradley Wiggins, and Martin had to settle for silver. It wasn't until 2016 that he finally claimed his 4th and final title. Returning to the time trial position that had brought him so much success, Martin obliterated the field, winning by 45 seconds and tying Cancellara's record of 4 world titles. After that, the rainbow jersey would slip away for good. Martin never finished on the world's time trial podium again. Before we move on from Martin's time trial dominance, there's one unique detail about how he raced them. To keep his lower body perfectly still and locked into position, Martin used to apply a layer of sandpaper-style grip tape to his saddle. It kept him rock solid over the pedals, but it also shredded his skin suits in the process. Usually, the damage was minor, just frayed fabric here and there. But at the 2015 World Championships, the battle between grit and cloth went nuclear. This time, the sandpaper tore through his skin suit and his skin, leaving behind a now iconic, cringe-inducing photo that made every cyclist cross their legs and wince. We need to rewind to the 2015 Tour de France, a race that would finally give Martin a golden opportunity to wear the yellow jersey. He'd come close before, but never quite pulled it off. The Tour opened with a short prologue, and Martin was one of the top favorites. But so are rising star Rohan Dennis and the ever-dangerous Fabian Cancellara. Dennis, fresh off breaking the world hour record, started earlier in the day and set an absolute blistering pace. 14 minutes and 56 seconds, averaging 55.4 kilometers an hour, the fastest Tour de France time trial ever recorded. Martin rode well, but not well enough to rewrite history. Second place, 5 seconds off of yellow. Stage 2 brought a twist. Crosswinds tore through the Dutch roads, splitting the peloton to pieces. Dennis, stuck in the wrong group, watched his chances blow away, while Martin found himself perfectly placed in the front. It looked like the jersey was finally his, until the final sprint, when Cancellara outsprinted Mark Cavendish for bonus seconds and snatched yellow for himself. Martin, still in second. Stage 3. New day, new chance. But fate intervenes again. Cancellara was caught up in a massive crash and lost time, putting Martin in prime position. Except the stage finished up a brutal hill, which meant Chris Froome powered to second place and took the bonus seconds, leaving Martin 1 second shy of yellow. 3 stages, 3 near misses. Something had to give. Stage 4 was different. Cobbles. Rough, punishing roads the peloton had been dreading. The race shattered over the sectors, with big names like Pinot, Contador, and Quintana losing ground. In the chaos, Martin fought his way back into contention, despite a flat tire and a bike change that left him riding in the wrong position. Then, with 3.5 kilometers to go, Martin made the kind of attack only he could stick. Out of nowhere, he surged off the front on teammate Matteo Trentin's bike. Head down, legs screaming, and didn't look back. Quote, having a flat tire and changing the bike with the wrong position, I was just thinking to finish the stage and look forward to the next stages. Suddenly, 5 kilometers to the finish, we were all together, and everyone was looking at each other. Nobody really wanted to pull, so I just decided to give it a chance and go for it. And somehow, I found some power and made it. Finally, after years of close calls, Tony Martin pulled on the yellow jersey. The repeated heartbreaks of the 2015 Tour wasn't the first time Tony Martin saw victory ripped from his hands. Stage 6 of the 2013 Vuelta a España was supposed to be routine, 175 kilometers, barely 1,500 meters of climbing, and a finish almost guaranteed to end in a bunch sprint. But from the drop of the flag, Martin lit it up. Usually, early breakaways on a stage like this are filled with pro team riders hunting TV time, not a 2-time defending time trial world champion from one of cycling's biggest squads. But Martin had a plan. And when no one followed his initial surge, he had a decision to make. Quote, I wanted to break away, and I was hoping for a few other guys, but nobody could follow. So I just kept going. He built a 7-minute gap. The chase was steady, but not urgent. The roads headed south were quiet, until the final 35 kilometers, when his advantage dropped under 3 minutes. That's when the peloton started to mean business. But Martin wasn't done yet. Quote, when there are 10 kilometers left to go, I thought, right, time to give it a bit more power. 3.5 hours in the wind, averaging just under 43 kilometers an hour. A technical run into the finish let Martin carve through the final corners, while behind him, the peloton clawed for position. With 1 kilometer left, he still had a sliver of daylight. Just 4 seconds. Carlton Kirby's voice hit fever pitch on Eurosport.
Rensburg, but Tony Martin stretches his legs and tries to go for this. This is absolutely remarkable. If this man could do it today, I'll eat my helmet. Unbelievable. Yeah, never mind my hat. I'm preparing the dentures right now. Unbelievable performance by Tony Martin. And look at
500 meters to go. 80 meters to go. Across the world, viewers stood from their chairs. And then sat down. With no more than 50 meters left, Michael Morkov surged past Martin for his first Grand Tour win. Of the 175,000 meters ridden that day, Just 50 separated Martin from pulling off one of the most audacious solo breakaway wins in history. Only 0.03% of the stage. Quote, "I saw the stripe of the finish line and I could hear the peloton behind at the same time, but I was really going all out with my legs. I couldn't go any faster than I did in the last 200 meters. Martin's legendary diesel engine didn't just win him races. It won races for others. He was a metronome on the front, drilling it for hours to set up Mark Cavendish, or in his later years at Jumbo-Visma, protecting their GC leaders deep into the final kilometers. He was the very definition of a road captain. His power also made him a weapon in the team time trial, winning the world title 3 times, and in his very last race, helping Germany to victory in the mixed relay. To casual fans, Tony Martin is most well known for one of cycling's most infamous crashes. 2021 Tour de France, Stage 1. A fan with a cardboard sign stepped into the road for the cameras. Martin hit it, and the peloton piled in behind him. This, and a few other crashes, were some of the main reasons why Martin retired from the sport. Quote, "I started fighting for this a long time ago, and what I can say now is that nothing changed. You see all the bad crashes that happened. There are more now than 10 years ago. It shows that nothing happens more the opposite way. 2 times I was lying in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, full of blood and full of pain. At 36 and the dad of 2 daughters, you start questioning if it's really worth it. What are you doing here? For me, I just didn't feel safe in cycling anymore, to be honest." In the end, Tony Martin's career was never defined by just his wins, though there were plenty. It was defined by the way he raced. Full commitment, no safety net, and a stubborn refusal to ride any way but all out. He was the breakaway artist who made the peloton sweat, the time trial machine who could turn pain into poetry, and in doing so, he gave cycling some of its most human and heroic performances.